You know what time it is, guys, right? Dun it, dun it, dun it, dun it, ba 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 ba, dun it, dun it, dun it, dun it. Cougars. Who are they talking about? They're talking about the Cougars. Cougars. Who the bleep's that? It's the mother loving Cougars. I can't believe they won that game on Saturday night. I'm still thinking how the hell they found a way to win a game where they were down 14 points, a game where it really did feel like they just didn't have enough guns to compete with Duke. But they hung in there, and they hung in there. And somehow, some way, that fearsome Cougars defense under Kelvin Sampson held Duke without scoring for what? 10 minutes and 30 seconds, just one field goal down the stretch. This is the team that has Cooper Flagg. It's Duke. And this Cougs team does have some really good players. We love LJ Cryer. He was great in this game. But it really felt as you were watching it like, man, they're not going to be able to figure it out. Then all of a sudden, Duke just forgot how to play basketball. And the Cougs stayed on him. And, there was a moment where I'll admit, I thought the game was done. I thought it was over. It was that moment where Tugler gets called for a technical foul for reaching across the baseline and touching a ball before it got inbounded. I can't remember ever seeing that in my life watching basketball. And you see that happen, and you're like, damn, what a tough way to lose. Tugler's going to be so mad at himself. But they make a stop on defense. They get a 3 from Uzon. You get a steal from Fisher. Another bucket. And 30 seconds of basketball later, the Cougs somehow have a lead. I don't think I'm ever going to forget that game. Truly, for a team that has fought and clawed their way to get to this point with the way that they play defense, to hang in there down 14 and to actually pull this thing off in a spot where, let's be honest, it's been tough for the Cougs in the Final Four. The last time they played in a national championship game, of course, is that famous Jim Valvano image where NC State misses a shot at the buzzer, but there's somebody right underneath to get the ball, and he puts the ball in, and that was back in 84. So 40 years later, good God, 40 years later, they're back tonight with the chance to take down Florida. I know there's a ton of people in San Antonio out there. If you're out in San Antonio right now, tip of the hat to you. I am wearing my fun little Cougs beanie. It was a little nippy today, but a tip of the hat to you if you're out in San Antonio. I can't even imagine how fun Saturday must have been. I think Chris Stapleton played last night too, so there were some good concerts. And then today, it's all on the line. You got the Florida Gators, who, with Walter Clayton, might be the best player in the tournament. But if that guy keeps scoring, that's how Florida wins. But if the Cougs keep playing defense the way that they're playing, I like them. Florida's a 1.5 point favorite in this game. And I get that Florida's been through the gauntlet of the SEC and all of that. But I feel pretty good about the Cougs' chances defensively to slow them down. Felt like they did a pretty good job with Duke, especially down the stretch. If you can hold a team that supposedly has the best player in college basketball to just one field goal in the last 10 minutes and 30 seconds, I feel pretty damn good about their chances to take down Florida tonight. We will, of course, see what happens. If you want to jump in on the most interactive sports talk show in Houston, 713-780-3776 to call in, to text in, on YouTube at ESPN Houston, on Twitch at ESPN 975. Couple of Twitch comments. Lopez69 says, Jamal Shed, avenged. Avenge me. Avenge my ankle. Yeah, it was cool to see them get a win after the way things, of course, went down last year. This is from Coug Blaze. I guess Coug Blaze is about to hit the road to go to San Antonio. Yeah, that's awesome, guys. It's so cool that it's right in our backyard, essentially. Still a bit of a hike. I did see that if you were driving on Saturday, there was apparently a lot of traffic. There was some car that got absolutely destroyed. Like, I think it caught fire. And I saw the wreckage of it. So I guess I-10 was just completely shut down. I'm glad I did not go on Saturday. I would have been stressing so much. You're driving on I-10. You're trying to go to the Coogs 2 cave, and the traffic's just not moving. So if you're able to get through all of that and you have tales from the road, hit us up. 713-780-3776 is how you call, and it's how you text. And you can join us on YouTube at ESPN Houston and on Twitch at ESPN 975. We do have a text from the 936. People are confessing that they thought the game was over. Houston down by 9 when Flag blocked that layup. Yep, saw that. Lots of moments in this one where I think the only team that continued to believe in themselves, or people that continue to believe in the Cougs, were probably mostly the actual Cougars themselves. It really did look dicey for a while, and they won. From the 832, did you guys see that they did not allow Hakeem Olajuwon to join the celebration after the Cougars win? I did see that. That was horrible. Absolutely horrible. I saw J.J. Watt was tweeting about it. I even saw Vernon Maxwell, who's definitely having himself a weekend because the Rockets, how about the weekend for them? Beat the Thunders convincingly on Friday. They beat the Warriors convincingly last night. But Vernon Maxwell was on the phone, and when he saw the image of Hakeem Olajuwon being prevented from getting on the court by, let's just say, a rather zesty young man who was just trying to do his job, Vernon Maxwell tweeted, "Oh, hell nah, Dream. You need to stop being Muslim for a second and ask that guy, quote, what did the 5 fingers say to the face?" End quote. So we're quoting Chappelle's show here. It's nuts. Like, you have to know that's Hakeem Olajuwon. And I'm sure, like, that's the only defense that this guy has. If you don't let Dream on the court, it's that you didn't know who he was. But, I mean, how many 6'9", 6'10", red-wearing men are you going to, like, confuse this guy for? You know who he is. And I mean, shoot, when the Cougars won to advance to the Final Four, when they had smoked Tennessee on Sunday, I mean, they let Jim Nantz go up on the court. And Jim Nantz didn't deserve to be there. Like, Hakeem was part of this team that was going to Final Fours and playing in the national championship and stuff like that. Like, he deserves to be out there. Jim Nantz, who I like. I don't know if Jim Nantz deserves to be out there, though. But, hey, Jim Nantz is in San Antonio. Kelvin Sampson and the Cougs still alive in San Antonio. And if you want to weigh in on that game, was there a moment where you lost hope in our beloved Cougs? 713-780-3776 to call in, to text in. On YouTube at ESPN Houston, on Twitch at ESPN 975. I do think it's fair to ask this question. Did the Cougs win the game, or did Duke blow it? I mean, I think Duke blew it. I really do. I still am having a hard time believing, just given the way that game went down, that they won. I was watching the game for a friend's birthday party at like the American Legion post in the Heights. It's a very interesting spot to watch. And once the Cougs won, because I was sitting next to one of my friend's wife. She's a diehard Duke fan. So we were sitting next to each other watching the game. And we were, we had some polite back and forth, giving each other crap the whole game. But as soon as the Cougs won, I stood up because I was like, I know I'm going to be an a-hole. So I'm going to stand up and just walk into another room. And I found a bunch of other Cougs fans who are all watching the game at the American Legion and just joined in for a couple of high fives and hugging randos. And then I went back in, and then we just continued to try to figure out, like, what the hell just happened? How did they pull this thing off? And what's next? Are they going to be able to get it done tonight? I mean, honestly, with Duke dead, I feel a lot better. I get it. Like, Walter Clayton, the guy's scary. He's very good. He's given me, I mean, obviously it's different because Steph Curry was playing for Davidson, and Davidson was a mid-major, and Florida's the best program arguably left, right? Weren't they the number one overall seed? Maybe Duke was. I forgot off the top of my head. But, I mean, I feel a lot better about their chances against Florida tonight than I did about Duke. Like, if you guys were listening to me on Friday when we were out in Dayton, I was a little bit nervous. I was not feeling great about that. I thought there was a chance that things would not go so well for him. Of course, as a, proud Cougs fan, arguably the greatest Cougs fan in the city of Houston, still picked them. But it was rather nerve-wracking just thinking about, hey, what are they going to be able to do? And you watch this game, and it really felt like they never had a shot. And then all of a sudden, they're winning with like 20 seconds left. What an incredible game. What an incredible night.